Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Puppet Master is weak. Have you ever heard of Pain's 6 Ways? 1. Puppet Master is weak. Have you ever heard of Pain's 6 Ways? Chapter 1. Aqua Blue Star, Qinglong City Number 1 Middle School. Many high school seniors who have just completed the transfer ceremony are discussing fiercely, and a small number of students who have awakened strong careers are beaming and full of strong expectations for the future. And at the moment, Yi Heng, who was in the middle of the crowd, did not feel joy, and he only felt noisy for the lively crowd around him. I didn't expect that I actually awakened the weakest hidden profession. Puppeteer. Not surprisingly, I will be a civilian in the rear in the future. It's really unwilling. Although there was no expression of displeasure on Yi Heng's face, his heart was full of deep resentment. He didn't expect that he had been waiting for so long, and it was actually such a result. Hide occupation. Puppeteer. Among the tens of thousands of career templates, the odds of awakening this profession are far lower than buying a lottery ticket. And the reason why Yi Heng has such a prejudice in his heart about his awakening puppeteer is a puppeteer, but in recent years has been recognized by the media as the 10 most pithy professions in history. The strength of the transferee completely depends on the puppet created, not to mention, after the successful transfer, it will not bring direct strength improvement to the transferee. And because the puppeteer can't leave his puppet too far away, once he is approached by a profession that can burst out of his face during the battle, it will definitely be a disaster to face the ground. For these reasons, it is also basically concluded that puppeteers cannot become an orthodox combat profession. And surprisingly, it is the same as pharmacists, trainers and other auxiliary professions that do not need an economic foundation. Just fusing the career template, you can find suitable logistics work in the rear of the country, and even experienced people can turn positive on the same day. It is extremely difficult for a puppeteer to get started, even if he has read a lot of professional information before. It is impossible to directly create a puppet, not to mention that each manufactured puppet material needs to be self-pocketed. It can be described as a fighter in the pit. Daddy. Let Yi Heng complain. There is no place to complain to him. Ending up in such a field, I may be the most tragic crosser ever. Think of those protagonists in the novels in the previous life. There are all kinds of hanging and bombing the sky at every turn, and now even if you kill me, there is no such thing as a system. Quote exclamation mark quote. When Yi Heng thought of being crossed into this world not long ago, his heart was tens of thousands of grass and mud horses running. It stands to reason that mixed up like this, they are embarrassed to say that they are crossers. It stands to reason that if the customs, habits, humanities and technology here are exactly the same as in the previous life, there is no so-called system, and for Yi Heng, who has long been an orphan, it is just a different place to continue to lie flat. But according to what has been learned over the past few months, Yi Heng found that this place was not peaceful at all, let alone lying flat. Even if he spent the rest of his life in peace, it was a luxury. Various unknown copies appear out of thin air. Once there is chaos in the internal space, the monsters of the other world that exist in it will break through the shackles and appear in reality, causing unimaginable casualties. In the face of these monsters, human technology alone will not help at all, and the only way to deal with them is the professional template power that individuals awaken in adulthood. And today's situation, even if the change of jobs is successful every year, the number of people who become professionals is still increasing year by year. However, there is still no force at war between humans and monsters, and in recent years, in order to block the front line and protect logistics personnel, helpless humans have built high walls outside the city to resist the invasion of monsters. Forget it. Let's think about what to do in the future. If the cheap little sister in the family learns that I have awakened the puppeteer, I probably won't be able to lift my head in my life. Yi Heng stopped his reverie, looked at the playground where the crowd in front of him gradually emptied, simply collected his mood. In this moment of tranquility, he suddenly thought in his heart that after he crossed this world, he seemed to have a sister without blood. Although the other party is very good looking, and has awakened an extremely powerful career template, the holy light goddess, everywhere she goes, she is surrounded by the crowd, and before she has experienced the national examination, she has been admitted to the best colleges and universities in advance. But Yi Heng didn't think so. He remembered that since he knew her, the other party had always liked to smell himself, looking for his stubble from time to time. If the other party finds that he has actually awakened the puppeteer, it is really impossible to raise his head. Thinking of this, Yi Heng's heart was even more painful. And at this moment, an electric sound suddenly sounded out of place in his ears, and then a blue bullet box popped up in front of him that only Yi Heng could see, with neat Chinese language written on it. Open black lens bracket ding dong. Detecting that the host is slightly aware of pain, the system has automatically extracted the Pain 6 Ways manufacturing template modified version from the Naruto plane for you. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket PS. Through the template provided by this system to make Pain 6 Dao, you don't need the control of reincarnation eyes and chakra, you only need mental power to reach the standard you can achieve like an arm. Open black lens bracket. Ding dong. This system has greatly reduced the difficulty of crafting the 6 paths of pain, and the host only needs to assemble the materials needed to make the template to craft. Open black lens bracket. Ding dong. This system automatically awakens the talent SSS living puppet for the host. All the damage suffered by the host will be transferred to the flesh, and the damage will be reduced by 99%, the puppet will not die, and the host will not die. Looked at the news pop-up box that appeared in front of him, Yi Heng was stunned on the spot. What is the situation? Could it be said that he had been looking forward to it, and the Goldfinger that had been waiting for several years had finally arrived? This is also too hanging. The huge joy made Yi Heng almost forget the content of the system prompt just now, and he slowed down in place for a long time, only to find that he had actually extracted the Pain 6 Dao manufacturing template from the Hokage world. And the system also directly helped to simplify all the materials needed to make Pain Rokudo, allowing him to make it without the power of Nagato in the original book. It's just so cool. Not to mention, the SSS talent living doll gifted by the system is talented, and it seems that this kind of thing can only be possessed by those legendary class templates. I didn't expect to be able to have it myself. And just by looking at the introduction of this talent, you can know that as long as Yi Heng has a puppet in the future, then he will not die. This greatly alleviates the problem of poor survivability of puppeteers. Refreshing. As for the Pain 6 Dao template that the system gave away because he understood the pain, Yi Heng had actually heard about it as a traverser. It was a powerful puppet created by Nagato using the Eye of Reincarnation in the world of Naruto. Each avatar inherits part of the power of the Eye of Reincarnation, and in the early stages of the anime, the term pain definitely symbolizes a sense of oppression, making people feel a strong sense of suppression. Thinking of this, Yi Heng couldn't suppress his inner excitement, sank his mind into the system interface, and began to check the 6 pain templates he had obtained. Pain 6 Dao. Heavenly Dao. Current template materials gathering progress, 0%. Production necessary materials. 8th Order Warcraft Core, 5th Order Monster Flesh and Blood, Exquisite Energy Spirit Stones. After successful manufacturing, the host will inherit all the Reincarnation Eye abilities of Heavenly Dao Pain. Close black lens bracket. ... Pain 6 Paths. Beast Road Current template materials gathering progress, 0%. Production necessary materials. 7th Order Warcraft Core, a large number of monster corpses, energy gathering formation. After successful manufacturing, the host will inherit all of the Reincarnation Eye abilities of Beast Dao Pain. Close black lens bracket. ... Pain 6 Dao. Asura Dao Current template materials gathering progress, 0%. Production necessary materials. 2nd Order Warcraft Core, a large number of monster corpses, scientific and technological fragments. Opening square bracket. After successful manufacturing, the host will inherit all of Asura Dao Pain's Reincarnation Eye abilities. Quote, is this how the system simplifies all the materials Pain needs? It seems. This directly allows me to make them without the Eye of Reincarnation. And the last note states, as long as I can successfully create a Pain, then I can directly inherit the Reincarnation Eye ability that this Pain has. As long as I can make all the Pain in the end, then I myself will have a pair of Reincarnation Eyes. Yi Heng excitedly finished reading all the production templates of the 6 Ways of Pain, and his heart was already setting off a huge wave, and he couldn't wait to collect all the materials to make all the Pain now. He has now imagined in his mind that after collecting all the materials, there is a scene of Pain 6 Dao standing in front of him. You don't have to do it yourself, you have the blessing of the talent of a living puppet, and you don't have to be afraid of dying at all. Just stand back and watch Pain destroy all the enemies and wait to collect the loot. Thinking of this, Yi Heng can be said to be happy, and the previous defeat and haze in the transfer ceremony were all forgotten, and it was extremely refreshing. The goal is clear right now: collect materials to make pain. Judging from the results I just saw, the materials needed to make the Asura Dao are currently the easiest to put together, and the slightly more difficult is the second-order Warcraft core. The price on the market is as high as 250,000 Union coins. Quote, "It's equivalent to a year's salary for the middle class. But fortunately, the family that crossed over has a little money, and they are also working part-time to make money on weekdays, and they should be able to make it together." Yi Heng thought that the price required for a second-order monster core was very painful, but considering that pain was successfully manufactured and he could get a lot of money after clearing the copy, he gradually put this matter down. He still understands the truth of turning a bicycle into a motorcycle. As long as he can make it in Asura Dao pain, Yi Heng has the ability to become a single-brush copy of the combat class. Come to think of it, Yi Heng did not hesitate too much, put his hands in his pockets and went to the most famous and lively trading street in the local area, and after swiping most of the amount on the card, he was also satisfied to buy the materials needed by Asura Dao pain. He happily returned home, ready to manufacture the Asura Dao as soon as possible. Puppet Master is weak. Have you ever heard of pain's 6 ways? 2. Puppet Master is weak. Have you ever heard of pain's 6 ways? Chapter 2. Qinglong City. In a small apartment outside the city center, Yi Heng had just returned and opened the door, and before he could find a place to put down all the puppet materials in his arms, he bumped head-on into a young girl with a bath towel on her head and water droplets in her hair. The other party was born very beautiful, and her delicate facial features and proud body made her look as if she came out of a painting. If Yi Heng saw someone he didn't know on the road, he might stop and take a few looks, but as if seeing a plague, he subconsciously lowered his head and wanted to leave, but at this moment, a displeased female voice suddenly came from behind. How can there be an old brother who sees his sister, turns a blind eye, turns his head and leaves? As soon as the words fell, before Yi Heng could say a few more words, the other party continued to add, "If you guessed correctly, you should be over the job transfer ceremony today. What career template has awakened?" Quote, "Today is indeed the transfer ceremony. The transition turned out to be smooth, and I awakened the puppeteer template." Yi Heng looked at the proud girl in front of him. "There was a sudden helplessness in my heart, and after I crossed here, I don't know if I forcibly arranged a sister without blood for him in order to revise the world line. The name is good, it's called Tang Xiu, but the character, it's a bit unsatisfactory. And the reason why he changed jobs behind the other party is completely because he is late in school and has no other special meaning. Puppeteer. It is indeed a very embarrassing profession. It seems that it cannot become a combat profession in the future. It is good to honestly wait in the rear for the state to assign work." Quote, Yi Heng was speechless, and after briefly saying the career information, he was ready to turn around and return to his bedroom. He still has things to do later. Other puppeteers can't become combat classes. What does it have to do with him? Pain's 6 ways. Do you want to understand pain? It was obviously impossible, and now he just wanted to develop secretly and amaze everyone at the end. Tang Xiu, who was standing in place, looked at Yi Heng, who returned to the bedroom with a meal of parts, first dried his hair, and said lightly, "Stupid old brother." After returning to the bedroom, Yi Heng first piled all the materials for making Asura Dao pain on the desk, and then clicked in front of the system, and began to operate according to the prompts above, and with a flash of blue light, all the materials in front of Yi Heng were surrounded. Immediately after that, a blue message prompt box popped up in front of Yi Heng, which wrote that it would take an hour to successfully complete the production. Compared with the time it takes a normal puppeteer to create a puppet, it is very fast. The system is really hanging. This crosser with a system is really different from a traverser without a system. Simply making a puppet is revealed. If I want to make a puppet from these materials myself, it is simply a fool's dream. Yi Heng looked at the light mass that had gradually formed a human form over time, and his heart was extremely happy. If there was no system, there was no way to create a puppet so quickly, and this puppet was still Pain in Naruto. It's so cool. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, it was already an hour required by the system, and along with the blue light surrounding the humanoid photophore dissipating, a burly humanoid puppet appeared in front of Yi Heng. The skin color is abnormal white, the facial features are stiff, but the corners of the mouth faintly look contemptuous smile, wearing the red cloud and black background uniform standard of the Shao organization, and the black rods of different lengths are inserted on the body, but the most surprising thing is that pair of unreasonable purple rippled eyes. Just standing there, the sense of oppression was already full, so that Yi Heng couldn't help but walk around the other party several times, and he couldn't suppress a smile on his face. Finally, after checking all the directions of the Asura Dao's body, Yi Heng sat on the edge of the bed with satisfaction, and used mental power to control him to sit beside him, a little proud. This is Asura Dao pain. It does look exactly like in the original. Quote, "It's not a bit of a copycat because the manufacturing materials are low grade, it seems that the system really just simplifies the materials. Instead of just making those materials. The one standing in front of me is the original pain. It's a small detail." Yi Heng tried to sink his mind into the system interface, clicked on the information panel between himself and Asura Dao Pain, and soon two career panels with blue light appeared in front of him. Name: Yi Heng. Occupation: puppeteer. Level: Level 1. Strength: 7 physical strength, 8 wisdom, 15 agility, 8 PS. Normal people have 4-dimensional attributes of 10. Skills: manufacturing, sorting, controlling puppets. Closing square bracket. Talent: SSS live puppet. The damage suffered by the host will be converted into 1% damage to the puppet does not die, and the host does not die. Close black lens bracket. Golem: Asura Dao Pain. Strength: 500 agility, 300 stamina, 700 wisdom, 250. Closing square bracket. Opening square bracket. Skill: human body manufacturing, ability to modify, harden, and craft weapons on your own body during battle. Create a black rod. Inserting a black rod into the enemy's body will disturb the opponent's spirit and affect the release skill to some extent. Opening square bracket. Advanced conditions: 5th Order Warcraft Core, a large number of scientific and technological weapons, nanomaterials, PS. After the level, the 4-dimensional attributes will be improved, but the shape and skills will not change. As Yi Heng clicked on the information panel between himself and the Asura Dao, a look of shock instantly appeared on his face. To be honest, does such a panel really exist? Strength, agility, physical strength are dozens of times that of ordinary people. This is that even some third-order career changers do not have such a high 4-dimensional attribute at all. It's like a monster. Not to mention that there will be a future after Yi Heng has gathered the advanced conditions. The 4-dimensional attributes of the Asura Dao can also be improved once, so there is no need to worry about the future. The monster level has increased, and there is a situation of weakness. Every time he thought of this, Yi Heng had to sigh in his heart about the strength of the system. The reason is simple: he is so good, far beyond expectations. At the beginning Yi Heng just wanted to rely on Asura Dao Pain to break through some simple level copies, but now there is no such idea at all. Later, you will directly choose the most difficult copy, just go over. If you can do this, even people who have changed to a strong career template at the same time cannot do it at all. Open black lens bracket. Ding dong. Detecting that the host has successfully created Asura Dao Pain, it automatically fuses part of the power of the reincarnation eye for the host. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. After the revision of this system, the strength and consumption of the power of the host and the 6 paths of pain using the reincarnation eye only depends on the number of wisdom points, and the more wisdom points, the stronger the power of the reincarnation eye. Open black lens bracket. The stronger the host's reincarnation eye, the stronger the dispersion ability that each pain has. Open black lens bracket. Hint: the host will be able to choose whether to manifest the eye of reincarnation. Close black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. Just after Yi Heng closed the information panel of himself and the Asura Dao, the system's prompt sound sounded in his ears again, and then his eyes began to change. The bottom of his eyes turned purple, and black ripples appeared on the surface. And about the power of the reincarnation eye, human body transformation, possessed by the Asura Dao, was also directly inherited by Yi Heng, and the power of Xuanji and Zan echoed in his mind. just inherited the eye of reincarnation. Yi Heng immediately got up from the bed, ran to the front of the mirror in the bedroom to take a closer look, and after seeing that he really had the eye of reincarnation, his heart was suddenly full of joy. This is a real puppeteer. When you inherit all the power of the eye of reincarnation in the future, you will be a nightmare for all your enemies. As soon as he thought about that picture, Yi Heng was full of joy. But he also has no idea now. Exposing the reincarnation eye you have to everyone now will definitely lead to a lot of unnecessary trouble. In that case, it is better to choose to hide the eye of reincarnation, and wait until the battle, when others think that they are soft persimmons and are ready to start. Surprise each other again. In this way, the direction of future development is also completely clear. Just go brainless and pile on top of wisdom points. This system really doesn't want me to work hard at all. After listening to the introduction of the system, Yi Heng once again determined the future development route in his heart, that is, the free attribute points obtained after his upgrade, all piled up on the wisdom points. After all, in the future, whether it is the strength of the reincarnation eye use skill, or all kinds of ability consumption must rely on a large number of wisdom points, and wisdom points also symbolize the strength of a professional's release of skills, and the length of the blue bar. In this way, the strength of the reincarnation eye ability is linked to the strength of the release skill. And the consumption is linked to the length of the blue bar. If you think about it, it seems to be able to explain it. This is the first Asura Tao. If I can collect all the 6 paths of pain in the future, then how powerful will I be? Yi Heng couldn't help but start reverie. Right now, just creating a pain has already made him extremely powerful. If you can make heavenly Tao pain, at that time, it will shock the whole world. Without further ado, I'll go break into the quest tomorrow. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Yi Heng turned off the bedroom lamp, lay down on the bed beautifully, and waited for tomorrow morning to take the Asura Tao to the replica for the trial. When the time comes, it's definitely interesting. Puppet Master is weak. Have you ever heard of Pain's 6 Ways? Chapter 3. The next morning, Yi Heng arrived at the door of the copy hall dressed early, although it was still early, but the hall was already full of transferees waiting for the copy to open. The various ranks of transferees are uneven, making people only feel some visual impact, although Yi Heng is also the first time to see this face, but did not observe for long, but quietly stood behind the team symbolizing the newbie copy, waiting for his turn. As a beginner's copy, it is a benefit distributed by the entire country to students who have just turned professional, and only professionals with a level of 10 or less can enter. Professional warriors ask for groups. A student who has just completed a job transfer, there is no experience that the big guy needs to ask for awe. Quote. Mo girl mage. Just ask for a big guy to bring awe. Are there any XXX high school students, brothers come to me to see if they can get together? I'm a little afraid that I can't clear a simple copy alone. Is there a team that lacks shooters? I can enter, and I will have an academic review later, and I am worried that I will not pass the school test. Hard dungeon needs a special class nanny. Rewards for passing the level are distributed according to work. Or everyone preparing for the school test later. Since the ambition is the same, is there anyone who works together? Just when Yi Heng was in the queue, many professionals who had just completed their job changes around him were also talking lively. Most of them were high school juniors who had just completed their transfers, preparing for the upcoming college examination. The college assessment is a test of the comprehensive combat strength of students in this world's higher education high school in the month after the fresh students successfully complete the job transfer. The content of the assessment changes every year. Although it is not as strict as the college entrance examination, if you do not pass the college assessment, you directly decide that you cannot take the college entrance examination in the future. Therefore, the college assessment now seems not big or small, but it makes all kinds of fresh graduates feel extremely headache every year. However, if you cannot pass the basic level of the assessment, you can only wait until next year to continue to participate in the college entrance examination. In this regard, although Yi Heng knew in his heart that he would do such a thing, he didn't care much at all. After all, now that there is a system, I am afraid that I will not be able to pass the simple assessment of any academy. It's like a joke. He walked directly to the door of the copy and asked the staff about the matters before and after entering the copy, and within a few seconds of Yi Heng speaking, the other party quickly said the suggestion. The novice quest is a country-selected dungeon, and the entry condition must be a first-time quest class. Quest difficulty is divided into easy, hard, nightmare. Basically, most of the fresh graduates can pass the easy copy for the first time, while the top students in college have a chance to pass the hard copy. As for the nightmare copy, only a very few Tianzhou can pass it every year. The staff explained to Yi Heng with a smile about the difficulty of the newbie copy, and the words were very easy to understand, and a few simple words had already made Yi Heng understand what difficulty to choose next. That's a nightmare. Since only a very small number of people can pass, it means that there are very few people who choose to break through, and they can start directly without queuing. It can save Yi Heng a lot of time. After deciding on the difficulty of breaking the level, Yi Heng directly clicked on the column for choosing a copy to break through, and soon a large number of message pop-ups popped up in front of him. Newbie Quest. Ghost Cat Demon, Mori no Tree Spirit. Level Requirements. Level 1 to 10. Difficulty of Selection. Easy, Hard, Nightmare. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Note: in order to ensure the safety of newcomers entering the quest, you must break through the level in a team of 4. If the number of people is less than 4, it will be automatically matched for you. Close black lens bracket. Quote: do I have to get 4 people together? It looks like that's all it takes. Yi Heng originally did not plan to team up with others to enter the copy. After all, he did not have any shortcomings at present, and with the blessing of talent and Asura Dao, he was already invincible at the same level. Even if you face monsters that are far more powerful than professionals, you can easily deal with them. There is no need to spend time looking for career changers in other professions and grinding each other. To study how to cooperate is simply a waste of time. But at present, I can't avoid it, so let's start directly. Yi Heng first randomly selected a ghost cat demon in the novice copy, and then the difficulty of the copy was directly pulled to the highest, Nightmare. With a strong sense of light glare, his whole person was shrouded in the replica teleportation array in front of him, and by the time he opened his eyes again, the scenery in front of him had changed greatly, and the originally overcrowded replica hall had turned into a dense and opaque black forest. At the same time, there were 3 other interloders besides Yi Heng, all of whom exuded a brilliance different from the basic profession. Seeing that he was strong, Yi Heng directly used the authority of the team to look at the career templates of several people. They are the Water Witch, Earth Knight, and Shadow Assassin, all of whom are the best in the hidden profession, and they are simply worlds apart from their own puppeteers. At the same time that Yi Heng was examining the 3 people in front of him, several people on the other side were also examining Yi Heng. Several people first cast their scrutinizing gazes, but after seeing that Yi Heng was actually the most wasteful hidden professional puppeteer who was rumored, they all cast contemptuous glances in unison. However, this kind of eyes flashed, and it was difficult for normal people to detect it at all. But then, they saw the Asura Dao who had been standing behind Yi Heng silently, and the extremely oppressive visual sense made several people can't help but have questions in their hearts. Could that be Yi Heng's puppet? But how is that possible? How can there be puppets who look exactly like people? However, these questions were quickly forgotten by them. After all, people who have the guts to directly choose the nightmare level difficulty when they enter the copy for the first time. Either a silly X or a leader in his age. Puppeteer. No, why would someone awaken a puppeteer and enter a nightmare level copy? I guess I made the wrong choice. I don't know, but that puppet in the red cloud uniform looks very strange. Quote. Quote. The 3 of them gathered together to discuss, and Yi Heng didn't have anything to explain about it. At the beginning of the entrance to the quest, he chose to walk alone. Brother, you may have accidentally picked the difficulty of the novice copy. After the quest starts, you stay behind us, just be careful not to be killed by the cat demon exposed on the battlefield. Quote. Quote. Wang Ming, who had the Earth Knight transformation template, was tall and strong, and he first broke the somewhat embarrassing situation and said to Yi Heng. In the cognition of several of them, a turnover like a puppeteer does not have any combat effectiveness at all when he turns, and it is already very good not to be approached by the cat demon to mend the knife. Even if Yi Heng was suspected of having a powerful puppet, it was only a possibility. Okay, Wang Ming has gathered the number of people now, the entrance to the copy is open, hurry up and break through. There are still a few days to go to the academy assessment, and now time is money. The two people in front of him turned their heads and interrupted Wang Ming to continue talking, reminding that now that the copy has been opened, it is ready to break through, and there is no need to continue to waste time. In this regard, Wang Ming naturally could not disobey the wishes of the two, and after turning his head to Yi Heng and giving a final explanation, he directly chose to turn his head and leave. Yi Heng, who was standing in place, watched the three people gradually walk away, and also determined the direction of the next pass, which was completely opposite to Wang Ming and the three. Although it has long been expected that puppeteers will be discriminated against. But I didn't expect it to be so embarrassing. But the fact that the nightmare copy could actually rank up is something I didn't expect. Although Yi Heng was a little embarrassed in his heart, his movements did not pause for a moment, and he controlled the Asura road behind him to walk towards the dense forest. The dark forest in front of him stretched for tens of kilometers, and the air was covered by a thick black qi, and the visibility was very low, and if there were no lighting items, it was likely to be lost here, but this was not a hindrance at all for Yi Heng, who had the Eye of Reincarnation not long ago. As the supreme pupil power in the Naruto world, the most basic eyesight enhancement is still there, and with the blessing of the Eye of Reincarnation, the dark forest in front of him is completely smooth for Yi Heng. What is even more outstanding is that not only the limit of human eyesight hundreds of meters in front of them, but also thousands of meters ahead, 10,000 meters. For Yi Ming, it is all visual range. Soon, he came to the depths of the forest. There was a rustling sound of leaves shaking around. Yi Ming threw a reconnaissance technique in front of him, and soon a message box popped up in front of him. Race: Cat Demon. Level 7, Strength 27. Physical Strength 31. Agility 40. Wisdom 7. Skill: Tearing, Ghost. Is this a cat demon? I kind of met me. Yi Heng looked at the black humanoid cat beast grinning at his teeth in front of him. His face did not show any trace of panic, and he was even a little excited. It stands to reason that a level 7 monster can have such a 4-dimensional attribute panel, which has already allowed a pot for a transfer person of the same rank. But that obviously could not be aimed at Yi Heng, as there was a sound of slamming on the ground in front of him, and at the same time, the Asura Dao, who was still standing in front of him just now, appeared in front of the cat demon like a ghost, and instantly pinched his neck with one hand. Puppet Master is weak. Have you ever heard of pain's 6 ways? 4. Chapter 4. Just let it explode into a blood mist. One hit kills. No, it can't even be said to be a blow, just a simple touch completed the first kill in Yi Heng's career. The entire battle process was so clean that before he could even react, the living cat demon had turned into a pool of blood and mud. Open black lens bracket ding dong. Congratulations to the host for successfully obtaining 700 experience points and level up. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket 1 right pointing arrow 3. Open black lens bracket. Get 20 free attribute points. Close black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. ... This has risen to level 3. So fast. Yi Heng looked at the level improvement information fed back from the system, and his heart was suddenly overjoyed. This is just a cat demon that allows him to rise 2 levels in a row. Next, if you continue to kill the cat demon, will it directly make him upgrade to level 15? Thinking of this, Yi Heng immediately wanted to recall the Asura Dao pain to move deeper into the forest. After all, he still understood the truth of chasing after the victory. Yi Heng first selected the materials that could be exchanged for money from the corpse of the cat demon just now, and then prepared to continue walking towards the depths of the dark forest, and as he walked deeper, soon there were more dense cat calls around him. In Yi Heng's line of sight, dozens of cat demons appeared in front of him, and at a glance, a large number of information panels came back from the reconnaissance technique, most of which were similar to the 4-dimensional attributes of the cat demons encountered at the beginning. Among them are several variants, which are far more slender than their counterparts, and their minions are sharper. Just from their appearance, you can see that they are not very easy to deal with. In this regard, Yi Heng just threw out the investigation technique, and their detailed data appeared in front of him. Race: Mutant Cat Demon. Level 8. Strength 41. Physical Strength 54. Agility 60. Wisdom 8. Skill: Tearing, Ghost. Meow, meow, hiss. With a shrill cat cry, the cat demons who surrounded Yi Heng and the Asura Dao group took a fighting posture, and the mutant cat demon even jumped ghostly into the nearby grass, waiting for the opportunity, ready to take advantage of the start of the battle to mend the knife. The old 6 behaviors of the living. Cats know all about obscene mending knives, and sure enough, the old 6 do not distinguish between borders and species. Yi Heng was not afraid that he was already surrounded by dozens of cat demons, so he reclined in the center of the battlefield with great dashing, waiting for some lucky person around him to be the first to attack him. After a quiet confrontation between the two sides for a while, the cat demon number 1, who really couldn't stand Yi Heng's lazy attitude, pounced, and after getting the order to attack, the cat demon number 2, number 3, and number 4 also rushed over. They were ready to devour Yi Hengsheng, who was bold in their eyes, alive, but in fact, it's not the same as the result of their successful culling. The Asura Dao, which was originally standing in place like a wooden carving, turned into a phantom again, and in just a moment, it completely crushed all the cat demons that rushed towards it, twisted into a blood mist, and the battle situation changed very quickly as before. This also caused the cat demons who had originally sworn to be like frightened birds, making terrified sounds, and the weak ones were even more afraid and constantly retreated towards the rear. However, the mutant cat demons who had been waiting in the bushes before picked the right time, jumped out of the bushes directly, and at the same time landed on the ground. Their bodies actually separated into 2 black shadows and ran in opposite directions. With this operation, the mutant cat demons that were originally only in single digits instantly turned into dozens, and their number was not only skyrocketing, but also increasing in speed, as if they wanted to surprise them. In this regard, Yi Heng naturally saw it in his eyes, but he did not rush to take action, waiting for them to make a move. In the same way as the previous cat demons' attack, after the mutant cat demons saw Yi Heng lazy from beginning to end, they suddenly couldn't bear their breath and rushed out at the same time in the direction of the front and back. After they attacked, Asura Dao also rushed out instantly, and the phantom rushing in front of him with his right fist was shattered on the spot, and at the same time, a cold and fierce light came from behind, and the nearby cat demon seized this gap and suddenly attacked. Although in the eyes of Asura Dao Pain, the back is completely a dead end, and it is impossible to predict from which direction the attack will be carried out. But all this was extremely clear in Yi Heng's eyes, clearly seeing the direction of the cat demon's killing, and at the moment of this gaze intertwined, Asura Dao suddenly turned his body, swung his fist out, and directly shattered the mutant cat demon's skull. The huge power and the mutant cat demon body turned into a blood mist. The vision of the eye of reincarnation is common. Let's not have a dead end at all. And that's the horror of pain's 6 ways. Yi Heng looked at the mutant cat demon who died in front of him, and sighed in his heart at the other party's youth, although he thought of the sneak attack behind him. But it's a pity that this wave of his own direct dimensionality reduction hit. Ignoring tactics at all, crushing by strength alone. Meow. After seeing the absolute strength displayed by Asura Dao Pain, the mutant cat demons were shocked for the first time. They understood that the gap between themselves and the other party was too big, even if they had absolute numerical superiority and terrain advantage now. But in the face of the enemy in front of you, it will not help at all. This is the most intuitive feedback they have received after a brief encounter with Asura Dao Pain, but although they know it now, too much time has passed, and there is no place for them to escape now. With the flickering of Asura Dao's figure, the mutant cat demons who had just surrounded and were ready to go out exploded the blood mist, turning into experience in the game, as well as a place of materials. Open black lens bracket ding dong. Congratulations to the host for successfully obtaining 2,500 experience points and level up. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket 3 right pointing arrow 7. Open black lens bracket. Get 40 free attribute points. Close black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. ... Just after Yi Heng controlled the Asura Dao to successfully kill the last cat demon nearby, he also subconsciously opened his career template. Looking at the prompt box that popped up in front of him, his heart was even more excited. It was only a few hours since he entered the replica, and he actually went directly from level 1 to level 7. Although this nightmare quest is very difficult, the corresponding reward is also very rich. If you enter a simple or difficult dungeon, you may not be able to upgrade to level 7 even if you kill the final boss. High risk, high income. Killing those cat demons actually exploded the materials. If these things are put on the market and auctioned, It is estimated that you can harvest several thousand alliance coins. As long as you break through the level a few more times, you may be able to scrape together the money to make the next pain template. Cool. Yi Heng quietly bent down and picked up a piece of material on the ground, and then immediately added all the 120 free attribute points he had gained from upgrading from level 1 to level 7 on top of spiritual power, accompanied by a mysterious power rising from the depths of his soul. He suddenly felt that his 5 senses became sharper, and more importantly, the part of the power that originally belonged to the eyes of reincarnation also became stronger. And these changes, Yi Heng all really felt. With the improvement of spiritual power, the power of the eye of reincarnation has indeed become stronger. The system is really hanging. Yi Heng is not a person in the Naruto world, and it is already miraculous that he can use the eye of reincarnation without barriers, and as a result, he can actually rely on the improvement of wisdom points to improve the power of the eye of reincarnation. This is cheating, but as a beneficiary, Yi Heng, even if this kind of cheating is a little more. Just when Yi Heng was about to continue relying on the Asura Dao to continue to run amok through the nightmare copy, he suddenly heard a dense cat barking in the distance to his left, and Yi Heng walked directly in that direction without any hesitation. After entering the copy, Yi Heng's goal has always been clear, that is, to pass the nightmare copy and destroy all the monsters in the quest. Maximize the economy. At the same time, at the place where Yi Heng rushed to the dense cat calls, the 3 hidden professional transferers who had originally parted ways with Yi Heng at the entrance of the copy were confronting all the cat demons around. Judging from their pale faces, and the fact that the boys with the Shadow Assassin class template had fallen to the ground injured and lost their ability to fight, the current situation is very gloomy. And standing in front of them is a giant monster that is far larger than the cat demon and the mutant cat demon, which generally looks like a brown bear, full of scarlet, and its claws make people feel the sharpness just by looking at it. It seems to be able to cut through steel with ease. Quest Boss. Chopping Cat Beast. Level 12. Strength 81. Physical Strength 84. Agility 80. Wisdom 8. Skill Demonization, Chopping Steel. Damn, although we already knew before. The monsters in the Nightmare Dungeon are far more powerful than the simple, and the monsters in the difficult dungeon. But I never thought that I would encounter this kind of monster. The boy who fell to the ground said in a trembling voice, and in his eyes appeared information data about the Iron Cat Beast in front of him. Putting aside the fact that Warcraft wisdom points are generally not high, the rest of the 3-dimensional attributes have actually reached a terrifying 80 or more. This is directly equivalent to 8 times the data of a normal person. Not to mention a professional who has just changed a successful career, even if he has already gone through dozens of copies. Professionals who successfully come to the second turn may not be able to face it, and this 4-dimensional attribute alone already makes them feel fearful. Stop talking. Wan Ren, the wound in the abdomen can't be stopped. Quote. Quote. Next to the fallen boy, squatted a cute lily in a blue soothsayer costume. She was Rong Anxian, who fused the water witch career template, and was also a hidden profession, with water attack magic and water healing magic. Right now, she is condensing the surrounding water element to heal the blood hole in her abdomen for Wan Ren in front of her, although with the effect of magic and potions, she can barely stabilize the injury. But if they can't solve the elite species in front of them, they simply can't or leave here. The end result is nothing more than death. Wasn't there still someone when we entered the quest? If it's a puppeteer, maybe it can induce this elite monster to leave and give us the opportunity to leave the copy. The person who stood at the front of the team and faced the Iron Cat Demon was Wang Ming, who turned into an Earth Knight, although his current state is the best among several people, but it is also obviously strong, as long as the monster in front of him launches a few more attacks. Then in the end, it will definitely end up with serious injury or even death. That person probably left the copy a long time ago. What do you expect the First Order puppeteer to do? Quote. Being able to become a combat profession normally is already a luxury. Wan Ren immediately interrupted what Wang Ming said, about the chicken rib career template of puppeteer. The previous society has a good understanding of its useless ability, and now expects the other party to save itself. It's just a dream. At the moment, even thinking that the elite monsters in front of you will kill each other is much more realistic than fantasizing about this situation. This is the dungeon boss, right? I don't know what rewards you can get by killing it. If only it could burst out. The core, equipment, etc. are good. Quote. Puppet Master is weak. Have you ever heard of Pain's 6 ways? 5. Puppet Master is weak. Have you ever heard of Pain's 6 ways? Chapter 5. Just when Wang Ming and the others were at a loss, quietly waiting for the monster in front of them to fight back again, there was a sudden sound behind them, and before they could react, then a strange man wearing a red cloud uniform on a black background fell from the sky. The speed of sinking made the surrounding field dusty, and Wang Ming and the others finally opened their eyes, only to be surprised to find that they thought at first. The weakest puppeteer actually appeared in front of him. And from the other party's career template to show. It seems that just now he has slaughtered many cat demons in the nightmare copy on his own. The level has skyrocketed from level 1 to level 7. How can it be? Why didn't you leave the copy? And all the way here? Brother, hurry up and get us out of here. These monsters have a low intelligence, as long as you can use the puppet to lure them away. After seeing Yi Heng actually appear in front of him swaggering, the three of them were shocked at the same time. What kind of joke? Yi Heng, who they took the initiative to abandon, actually killed a large number of cat demons single-handedly. Don't say. There is still spare power to come and help them. Now it seems that who is the chicken rib career template? Now the best of the 3 contemporaneous transfers, if it is passed out and saved by the puppeteer, it is estimated that no one will believe it. It doesn't matter, I'll shoot. Yi Heng first turned his head to look at Wan Ren, who was injured in the abdomen behind his back, but he had already made a decision in his heart, although he would not watch the monster devour the 3 people in front of him before mending the knife. That would be a bit of a psychological problem, but he couldn't possibly specialize in the safety of a few of them, using his Asura Dao to provide time and space for them to escape. After all, he is not a tool man, and what he does now is to go with the flow and dispose of the monster in front of him. A few people behind him went to stay with him. After the words were thrown out, Yi Heng immediately controlled the Asura Dao to prepare for battle, ready to directly face the dozens of cat demons in front of him, led by the elite monsters. Chop the Iron Cat Demon. Is this the case? He still wants to shoot. Crazy. Regardless of whether the puppeteer has the ability to fight at this stage, it is just a single person facing dozens of monsters in the nightmare copy. Strong people of the same rank do not have such strength. No kidding, huh? The pale-faced Wan Ren heard what Yi Heng said, and after what he was going to do next, his face turned even whiter. What kind of joke? Did I not wake up from a dream today? Ran into such an evil thing. At the moment, no matter how you look at it, it is the best choice to choose to leave, one person to choose to single out all the cat demons, and what is the idea of elite monsters? Yi Heng didn't have the idea of wanting to explain to the few people behind him, and directly controlled the Asura Dao through the wisdom point for a moment, and the Asura Dao standing in place in front of him immediately disappeared from everyone's eyes, before they could think about where it went. Among the cat demon in front of him, the figure of Asura Dao suddenly appeared, and a punch blasted out instantly. The large number of cat demons surrounding in front of them suddenly turned into blood mist. After all, the gap in the 4-dimensional attribute is too big, not to mention that the cat demon did not react, and even Yi Heng, who controlled the Asura Dao for many days, did not react much. After all, this is already beyond the human category, although because of his system permissions, he can use the manufactured pain with great ease and skill, as if he were part of his body. But this does not mean that Yi Heng can immediately become familiar with this superhuman-like feeling right now. This cat demon of the nightmare copy actually killed by a punch. I'm not dreaming, am I? Right now, after Yi Heng made a complete move, the expressions on the faces of the 3 people behind him changed from the original local disgust and pit father to shock. Their mouths opened slightly and their pupils began to earthquake. Are you kidding? Even if they face a cat demon, their 3 hidden class template owners must fight together and be careful. And this does not mean that they are not strong. On the contrary, all 3 of them are the first in their class in various colleges. It is precisely because of the first team formed by the 3 schools that they have the courage to face the nightmare replica alone. And yet that's it. In the face of the ordinary monsters in the nightmare copy, they were still a little weak, but when these monsters were placed in front of Yi Heng, they had no power to fight at all, and they had been instantly killed just when they were just faced. Not to mention that the other party's career template is still a puppeteer. This thing itself is too dreamy. Do you say? Did all of them misunderstand the profession of puppeteer before? Actually, it's very powerful. Roar. Just after Yi Heng controlled the Asura Dao Pain to basically clean up the cat demons surrounding the surrounding trees, the shock on Wanren's faces was even stronger. Those hideous cat demons don't say that they fought against Yi Heng, and it can even be said that there is no process of fighting. Basically, Asura Dao Pain just appeared in front of a cat demon, and then before others could see it clearly, the cat demon had completely turned into a blood mist. After the almost terrifying picture in front of them fell in the eyes of everyone, it immediately set off a huge wave in their hearts. I'm not dreaming. Aren't we entering a nightmare copy? I don't know. The strength of this puppeteer is also too high, and do you see it clearly? That puppet wearing a uniform with a red cloud and a black background is just like a monster. Its attack is a one-hit kill after it falls, and the monster's attack can't even touch his clothes. Is that really a puppet? How do I feel that he is more flexible than a real person, and can even speak? He will not be a real person. How else to explain? The speed of this puppet of Nima directly produced an afterimage. How high does the speed attribute need to be? Quote. Wanren, Rong Anxian, and Wang Ming were now completely shocked by the strength displayed by Asura Dao Pain. If in the future, they hear that the people around them are weak puppeteers, they may not hesitate to give each other a roll of their eyes. This Nima, who can have such a strong four-dimensional attribute just after changing jobs? It's like opening and hanging. Not to mention fighting him, you can't even find it at the basics. Roar. A huge roar interrupted the thoughts of several people on the field, and the Iron Cat demon who was originally standing on the field was a little confused. After seeing his own people being slaughtered at will, a large amount of purple chi began to rise all over his body. The eyes are even more red. It is obvious that in the words of modern people, that's when it's urgent. It just so happens that the nearby cat demon has almost cleared the ground, and it is free to deal with the final boss. Yi Heng looked at the iron cat beast in front of him who was angry and jumping in place in a hurry, and his heart was full of calmness. After using his spiritual power to control Asura Dao Pain, he rushed directly in front of it. Using the super high four-dimensional attribute to directly put a kite beside it, but this does not mean that the attack of the Asura Dao cannot cause damage to it. On the contrary, basically every blow will cause the iron cat beast to scream. His body was covered with a large number of blood holes, and he was about to be easily taken away by Asura Dao Pain. Boom. Soon, after Asura Dao threw a strong punch at the boss in front of him, the opponent's body several meters high, like a small mountain, suddenly flew backwards like a cannonball, and after crushing several ancient trees, he was able to stabilize his body, and blood gushed out of his body as if he didn't want money. Just by looking at it, you can know that death is only a matter of time. The boss was actually beaten out so easily. What a terrifying force. You must get to know this brother when the battle is over. Wang Ming looked at Yi Heng, who was standing in front of him and always won steadily. His heart had been replaced by shock. It stands to reason that most of the students of the same rank of them entered the copy for the first time and began to practice, but they can pass the copy alone like Yi Heng. Handful. And those who can pass the nightmare copy are even rarer. As long as they do not fall in the future, they must be characters who can shock Wuxia. It will certainly not hurt to have a good relationship with him now. To everyone's surprise, the iron-slashing cat beast that had been flown tens of meters away and was about to break its breath actually began to become more huge at this moment, and the already very vicious claws actually began to grow at this moment. In a short period of time, it grew to 1 meter, and it can be seen that the other party should have entered a certain state, resulting in its current strength has been greatly improved. Immediately after the boss in front of it entered a special state, the overall four-dimensional attribute was skyrocketed, and after its eyes locked on Asura Dao Pain not far away, it immediately slapped its hands forward, and the rapid palm wind began to overflow from the gap in the palm. And this terrifying blow also fell firmly on Asura Dao Pain, accompanied by a tooth-souring muffled sound. After everyone saw this scene, their hearts invariably gave birth to desperate thoughts. The boss, which was already very difficult to deal with, has actually become stronger at this moment. And the Asura Dao puppet who was still like a fierce tiger just now also received a solid blow at this moment. The boss has entered a state of demonization, and the overall four-dimensional attributes seem to be skyrocketing. Quote. Quote. Rong Anxian looked up at the replica boss in front of her, who was constantly rising with a large amount of demonic energy, and a little fear arose in her heart, to be honest. The three of them were powerless to fight back even if they faced the boss in an ordinary state. And now that it has entered the state of demonization, will the boss after the four-dimensional attribute has skyrocketed make Yi Heng unable to deal with it? If the other party has no way to dispose of this boss, they still can't escape the result of death.